At first, it seems impossible. A skinny, frail body, without athletic explosiveness, a boyish face, a gait to light, an almost shy demeanor. Nothing about him screamed dominance, nothing announced a revolution, but just one possession, just one, was enough for the world to understand that it was witnessing something basketball had never seen before. Stephen Curry didn't just change the way the game was played, he altered the logic of the game. He turned physics inside out. He made distance an illusion. Time became an ally. And the impossible, a habit. His three-pointers aren't just shots, they are statements, silent provocations, moments that stop. In time, when the ball leaves Curry's hands, there is a moment of suspension, a pause in the air. The crowd holds its breath. The bench rises before the shot falls, because everyone already knows if the ball left his hands, it's because he already knew it would go in. Stephen doesn't shoot, he anticipates destiny. There is something almost spiritual about what he does, as if he's connected to something others can't see. The ball may come out off balance, backwards, with two defenders on his back, from half-court in transition, without aiming, on the move. It doesn't matter. What for any other player would be a desperate shot, for Curry is art. He destroyed the logic of the good shot. He created the era of the right shot as mine. When everyone thought they were too close, he stepped back. When defenders doubled him, he broke the coverage with his dribble and stepped back even further. He expanded the court's space with pure confidence. He turned every extra meter into a stage of destruction, and when the clock ticks down, when the pressure swallows even the greatest Curry dancers, he spins lightly, hides the ball, deceives with his eyes, and when the defender thinks of reacting, it's already gone. The ball is already in the air, and you already know the ending. But it's not just what he makes, it's when he makes it. Games that were lost. Moments when hope had already left the arena. Curry appeared. Once, twice, 3 times. From far away, from even farther away, as if to say, it's not over while I'm here. He became the terror of the clocks, the assassin of the timers, the poet of the dead zone, and the arenas. Even the opponents knew this. When he crossed half-court, eyes lit up. Tension turned into hope, even for those rooting against him, because everyone wanted to see. Everyone wanted to witness. No one wanted to leave the stadium before Curry's last shot. There are plays where he doesn't even watch the shot fall. He spins, turns his back, faces the crowd, raises his arms. It's not arrogance, it's knowledge. He knows. And those watching know too. That's not normal, not replicable. It's a rare, magical moment, an eclipse in sports he didn't have to jump high, nor slam the basket violently. He didn't have to be the fastest, the strongest, the most athletic. Stephen Curry won the game with a weapon that seemed too small to dominate giants: confidence, control, an absurd faith in his own mechanics. And because of that, each of his three-pointers becomes more than just a point. It becomes narrative, collective memory, legend. He is the boy who took the game off the court and carried it to infinity, who transformed shots into testimonies, who opened space for a new generation of players who believe distance is just a number, who showed the world that there is beauty in boldness, precision in courage, and that basketball can be as light as a ball floating in the air as long as the one shooting it is named Stephen Curry. No matter how many times you watch, no matter how many highlights are available, no matter how many charts try to explain it, there is something about Stephen Curry's shots that still seem like miracles. It's as if he's playing in another dimension of the game, as if he sees paths no one else sees. While defenders prepare to contest the obvious, he creates the absurd. While the defense expects a safe play, he improvises the improbable and nails it. And it's not luck, it's not random. It's repetition, it's obsession. It's the result of hours in silence, without an audience, without cameras, training, the kind of shot most wouldn't even dare attempt, because for Curry the comfort zone is everyone else's limit. The space where everyone hesitates is where he shines. The court, for him, has no rigid markings. It's liquid, flexible, alive. Stephen stretches time, folds space, manipulates tension. He is methodical chaos, controlled disorder, programmed improbability. Every move of his seems like improvisation, but it's pure engineering. And when he feels the game hanging by a thread, when the team is cornered, the gap cruel, and the chance of victory a distant memory, Curry asks for the ball. He doesn't demand, he doesn't shout, he just moves light, loose, as if he's at home, because he is. The court is the place where everything makes sense for him, and then comes the silence before the roar, the breath held, the moment frozen, and once again the ball leaves his hands, and once again the impossible bends. Because when Curry shoots, the impossible has no choice. He doesn't just score, he redirects games, restores confidence, topples giants. There are matches that changed completely because of one shot by him, a ball that fell from very far, from very high, in a way only he does, and the opponent simply understood. It's over. Not because the clock ran out, but because Curry showed up. And in that moment you realize he's no longer just playing basketball. He's dictating the narrative. He is the script. He is the plot twist. He is the climax. And while many try to imitate him, No one can copy the soul of what he does, because it's not just technique, it's not just training, it's intuition, it's instinct, it's the courage not to follow the manual. Stephen Curry made the absurd a standard, the improbable routine, the three-point shot, a weapon of war, and by doing this, he elevated the game to a level few will ever reach. Because he doesn't just want to win, he wants to enchant. He wants to eternalize. What Stephen Curry did to basketball goes beyond statistics, beyond trophies, beyond the records he broke, and then broke again. What he did was open a new door for the game, for the fans, for the kids who used to be ignored for not being strong enough, tall enough, fast enough. He proved that vision is as valuable as speed, that conviction beats doubt, that a small gesture, repeated perfectly, can be more devastating than any dunk. And when he's there, with that light smile, shooting a half-court shot like he's just breathing, you understand, we're witnessing living history. Not a player trying to make a shot, but an artist expressing his work, a creator who plays not out of necessity, but out of vocation. Curry didn't dominate the NBA with shouts, he dominated with precision. Not with brutality, but with beauty. He taught us that there is poetry in motion, that there is silence before the explosion, and that a three-point shot alone can carry the weight of a legacy because every time he shoots, time slows down, the crowd rises, and for a moment, everyone stops not to see if it will go in, but to see how it will go in, because if there is something sacred in sports, it is the moment when the impossible happens before our eyes, and Stephen Curry made that a routine. But Stephen Curry's impact goes far beyond the hardwood. He changed the way the game is taught, played, and dreamed about. Coaches now build offenses around his style, spacing the floor, emphasizing pace, encouraging shots from way beyond the arc. Entire teams and even whole generations of players chase the shadow he cast, hoping to capture even a fraction of his magic. Youth leagues filled with kids practicing impossible shots, inspired by the kid who redefined what a shooter could be. Analysts rewrite playbooks, commentators frame their narratives through the lens of his influence, and fans, they cheer louder, knowing they are witnessing a new era, an evolution of basketball itself. Curry didn't just innovate with his shot, he revolutionized the culture of the game. He brought joy, creativity, and artistry back into a sport often dominated by brute force and athleticism. His smile after a deep three, his quick step back, his no-look passes, these moments remind us that basketball is also poetry in motion, a dance of human will and grace. And yet, for all his brilliance, Curry remains humble, grounded. He knows the fragility of greatness, the fine line between legend and forgettable. That's why he trains harder than anyone, respects the game like a sacred trust, and plays with a heart wide open. Because Stephen Curry is more than a player, he is a storyteller, and with every shot, he writes a new chapter. A chapter filled with hope, wonder, and the impossible made real. What truly sets Stephen Curry apart is not just his technique or the sheer number of three-pointers he has made throughout his career. It's how he changed the mindset of the game. Before Curry, the dominant logic was that to be dominant in the NBA, you had to be an explosive, tall, strong athlete capable of imposing yourself physically. Curry broke that narrative. He showed that intelligence, precision, and confidence can overcome brute strength and extreme speed, and to reach that level, it wasn't just natural talent. It took years of sacrifice, of almost obsessive dedication. From a young age, Curry trained relentlessly, perfecting a shot that seemed unlikely for someone of his physical stature. He worked on mechanics, repetition, and mental toughness to withstand the pressure of being constantly questioned, overlooked, until finally being recognized. Every practice, every shot, every repetition built a silent legacy that would explode. In the NBA years later, he broke records for accuracy, distance, and numbers that once seemed unreachable. But the most impressive thing is that he did all of this without losing his lightness, a smile on his face, and the humility that made him so beloved both on and off the court. Curry is not just a player who scores points. He redefines what is possible in basketball. He expanded the boundaries of the court, stretched the range of shots, and accelerated the pace of the game. He created a new language where the three-point shot is the main note in the symphony of the modern game. Moreover, his influence goes beyond basketball. He is a cultural symbol, an icon who inspires generations not just through numbers but through the story he carries. The story of a boy considered too small, too weak, out of the norm who refused to accept imposed limits. His journey is a reminder that the impossible is just a matter of perspective, that perseverance can turn doubt into achievement, that talent must be accompanied by hard work, and that passion is the force that drives everything. When you look at Curry, you don't just see an athlete, you see a living example that the game is more than a sport. It's an expression of the soul, a stage where stories of overcoming, creativity, and beauty are performed. And as long as he keeps shooting those impossible three-pointers, we will all witness a spectacle not just of skill, but of pure sporting magic. If this story moved you, if at any moment you found yourself getting chills watching these plays again, then don't keep it to yourself. Share this video, leave your comment, and stay with us for more stories that deserve to be told, with the emotion, beauty, and truth that television never showed. Because as long as there are players like Curry, basketball will never be just a game, it will be art. See you next time.